Hello everyone. We are here today on Tuesday and we are going to be having a virtual card class. We're going to be doing some Halloween cards. We are going to be using the Scary Cute stamp set along with the matching dies. These dies are awesome. You can tell that I use them quite a bit. So there's some framelits. This is like some trees in here, some tree branches, super cute. So we're using that. We're using the Scary Haunted House, the castle, some bats. We're using the label, the moon. We have a moon. We have some bigger bats, smaller bats. We're going to be using a lot of these today. So we're going to be making a total of 5 cards. So I hope you enjoy these. They were a lot of fun to create. So, and for those of you that are on my Facebook page, you had saw that we had already done the live version of this class. So now we're going to be doing the virtual version of this class. So again, thank you for joining me. Please let me know that you're here and we will get started. So I'm kind of doing these cards from memory because I had done these last week. So I'm hoping that I remember exactly what they look like because I have all my samples at my studio. So yeah. All right. So we are going to be taking for our first card in your kit, take out the packet that has the pumpkin pie paper. We are going to fold this in half. Just like that. Grab our bone folder. Let me get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. All right. Then we have the gingham paper. I love this paper. This paper has so many different styles and colors of the gingham. It's awesome. So I'm going to want this side to show. So let me glue this down. So I'm hoping I don't forget again how I made these. And let me make sure the card opens the right way for you. It's going to open like a book because I am doing this upside down. All right, we're going to put that right in the center. Then I have die cut out one of those frames. This is the one that has the trees. And now this is, let me show you the paper. Let me go grab a pack real quick. This was such a fun pack of paper. So in this pack of paper, this is the metallic and shimmer. So in this pack, you get, this is a brand new pack, you get 4 sheets of the black and the silver. Isn't that pretty? Then you get 4 sheets of the green and silver, or green and gold. And then you have the pumpkin. So these are great for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. They're pretty cool. All right, so let me just put this on the side. All right. So when I die cut these out, I thought I could cheat and run 2 of them through at a time. With this texture of paper, I found I could only do 1 at a time. So remember that when you're doing yours. But in your kits, you have them already punched out. If by chance they are hard to punch out, if you flip it over, you can see where the lines are. So you can always grab like an X-Acto knife and just kind of help nudge them out. All right, so we are going to put some adhesive on here and attach it to our black. So I am just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. And less is more on this liquid glue. You do not need a lot because you certainly don't want it oozing out the sides. So I'm not hitting every section, I'm just hitting kind of the main parts. And let's see if we get some of these branches. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm keeping this flat, and I'm taking my black cardstock, and I'm just putting it right in the center. So I'm just going to hand wipe off some of that extra glue. This glue gets a little sticky. That's all right, it just helps us pick up things later. Okay, so now you see that there's these extra tabs. So I'm just going to grab my paper snips and just kind of trim them away. Super easy. Oh, when we did this class in person, we had so much fun. So I ended up having people that had never stamped before, and I had people that had stamped before but had not done a whole lot with it. So spent a lot of time laughing at ourselves. It was a lot of fun. Whoop. All right, so now we have that. Then, let's see. What we will do is we will grab our white, and we're going to do some stamping. So the image I used was the little Frankenstein guy. So I'm just going to put him on here, and I want to use my garden green. Whoop. Put him on the wrong way. All right, we'll juice him up, make sure he's good and juicy, and we'll stamp him on here. Now, in your kit, you got a piece. You have enough to do 2 of the Frankenstein characters. Clean that up. Then I'm going to be using Boo as my sentiment. So we're going to juice that up, put Boo right on there. Just nice and simple. All right. We can close this. We're not going to need this. But I'm going to show you something really cool that I picked up, or that I learned. And just cut that. So I am not a huge fan of fussy cutting, but I will do it. There, so we have our Boo. Let's cut him out. He does not take very long. You don't have to get super intricate on your cutting, but what I do suggest is kind of leaving a little bit of a white border. If you try and cut exactly on your image, sometimes if you don't cut it exactly right, it makes it look funky. So I'm not going to be going like in between each of his little fingers. All right, so we'll cut here. Oh, I might just, here, let's cut a little bit up in here. We're not going to do a whole lot. All right. And with you, when you have your kits, you can take the time if you want to cut it out exactly perfect, but it will take a while. That's why I love our dies. All right. Take that and throw that out. All right, so then next what we will do is we are going to take a piece of scrap paper, and this is the coolest thing. Taking some ribbon. Now, my ribbon, I'm wanting to tie a bow. So I will just tie the bow. Now, I've done this a couple different ways, and I found that this was just the best way to do it. So I tie my bow, get it how I want it, and we'll trim it up. All right, now I'll put this on the side. Then what I did was I took this dark pumpkin pie, and we are going to color our ribbon. Isn't that cool? This is the easiest thing to do, and you don't need a lot of ink. See, it does bleed through. So if you do it this way, then you can kind of get the ink on the back part from the top. If that made sense, I don't know. I'll color that. The center of our bow. Now when I did this initially, I just pulled out a long piece of ribbon and I colored it and then tied it. You could do it either way, but I just found that I use less ink because I'm not coloring extra ribbon that I don't need to cut or color. All right, so then we can get this out of the way so it kind of bleeds through. So we'll take our card. We have our little frame. We're going to put this on some dimensionals. And where are my big dimensionals? I have a ton of small ones. I need my big ones. Where's my big ones? Here we go. I think when I placed my order, I ordered the minis instead of the full size, so now I have a ton of minis. Whoops. Alright, so let's put this just like this. And let's see here, we'll put that right about here. Oh, you know what? What are we doing? Nope, I'm right. I'm just going to put that here. I wish I had my samples in front of me. Alright, so we're going to take our little guy here. I'll use up some of these small ones on him. And we'll put him on. I'm only going to use just maybe like 2 or 3. Okay. And we'll put him right over here so it looks like he's walking in the trees. Just like that. And we have our boo. So I definitely want a small one for that. Oh. And we'll put that right on the back. And we'll put boo right there. And now we need to attach our bow. So I am going to be grabbing some of our mini glue dots. I'll put one of those on here, and I think I'll grab a second one just because I want to make sure that it sticks really well. Whoop, kind of sticky there. All right, so I'll put this just right at the bottom. And isn't that cute? So here's our first card. He's super cute. All right, so let's move on to our next card. So that was one technique with coloring the ribbon. I'm going to show you another technique. So we have all our supplies. We're going to take our black cardstock, fold this in half, and if you have trouble keeping up, please don't worry, this is being recorded, so you can watch this later, and you can pause it and do what you need to do. All right, so we have our card base. We're going to take one of the white pieces, and we're going to stamp some bats on here. And this is going to go on the inside of our card. Now, the reason I'm putting this on the inside, I usually don't decorate the insides of my cards, but if you try and write something on black, you are clearly not going to see it. So we'll put some bats there, and then we can throw some down there. All right. Cover this back up. All right, let's get our adhesive on here and put it on the inside of our card. have to make sure I put it on the right way, so I have to turn it my way. All right, so right in the center. Now we have a nice white area to write on. All right, so our next step in our cute card is that we are going to take our white card base and attach it to our gingham. All right, so let's put some adhesive on here. And we'll just center this, just like that. All right, then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus. I want this because I'm going to be attaching some ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to put just some little swooshes of the Stampin' Seal. Yes, that's the technical term, swooshes. And I'm going to be using this really pretty metallic ribbon. So I have designed cards for Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas using the same ribbon. So we're just going to put it right in the center and tap it down. That's it. And then we'll trim. We can do some more trimming after we put it on our base. Isn't that cute? I love that ribbon. All right, now we will attach this section to our base. So in case I haven't mentioned, which I'm sure I have, Stampin' Up! Has an awesome deal. They have a sale going on right now for what I guess you could call the ultimate bundle. It's a bundle for $99. You get to pick whatever you want, and you get $155 worth of product. How cool is that? So just kind of wanted to throw that out there. It is technically the starter kit. I have some ladies on my team that strictly do this as a hobby, and they do it just so they can get their 20% discount, which is cool. So for $99, you get $155 of product. Please let me know if that's something that might interest you. I would love to be able to help you out to get that. And you can pick whatever you want, which is awesome. Okay, so we are going to do a technique called stamping off. So I'm going to grab my little people. So I have the little princess. And then I want the little Dracula boy. I'm going to be using one color ink. We're going to be using the black. And then I want to get my sentiment. So the sentiment I would like to use is love at first bite. Isn't that cute? So we'll put that on a block. So we will do the full strength ink first, and then I'll show you what the stamping off technique is. So juice up your sentiment on your label that's already cut out for you. And this is going towards the bottom. Full strength ink right at the bottom. Okay, it's a little crooked, so we'll try this side. All right, it's the beauty of paper. You just flip it over. All right, so let's grab our little people. So I know it's upside down for you, but I want to see exactly where I'm placing these people. So I'm using the little Dracula. He's going to be chasing the little princess. I just thought it kind of went cute with the love at first bite. Dracula bite. Yeah. Okay. So make sure he is nice and juicy, just like that. Stamp off on scrap paper. Now bring him back on your tag. And put him down. I hope that worked. That worked. So now he's kind of like a grayish kind of shadow. I thought that was kind of cute. All right, so let's grab our little princess girl here and make sure they're juiced. Stamp off, and now he's chasing her. Isn't that cute? All right, so that is what we did for that. Super easy technique. And what we will do is now grab some dimensionals. And this is the side I made my oops. You could put the dimensionals in 4 corners, or you could just do 3. All right. Then we will turn this. Let me try and think here. Was there anything else I did? Nope. So we put him on just like that. And then I need my, and I didn't grab them, but I have some here. I need some rhinestones. Where are my rhinestones? So I store my embellishments in one of those old cases. Do you remember when we got the stamp sets that were with the wood backing? So I just got rid of my wood backing stamp, and then I just have this nice container. Let's see. I know I'm going to need the black. And here's some rhinestones. Rhinestones. All right. Oh, I have some that flew up there. All right. So let me grab my, take your pick tool. I'm just going to grab some embellishments here. You want to do 3 or 5. You never really want to do an even number. Let's see, we could do 1 right here. There we go. Here is card number 2. All right, our next card, this one, I thought I'd incorporate some purple in this. I don't know, I just kind of thought purple would be kind of cool. All right, so we have our cardstock. We're going to fold this in half, push it down. Then, let's see here, what are we doing? We are, let's see, I need my gray ribbon. I have all my pieces here. Got my gingham. Okay. So, I have the smoky slate, I believe that's what it is, and it's going with the gingham paper, and we're just going to attach these. Super simple. And you don't want to attach it to your card base just yet. Alright, so we'll just center that. I love how all their paper is matchy-matchy. I just love that. So you don't have to like guess on putting colors together if they go together. On the Designer Series paper, I don't know if you know this, but on the label it tells you exactly what colors are being used. So when you're going to design your cards, it tells you exactly what colors to use. Alright, so I'm tying my bow. So it doesn't matter where the bow's at right now because we can always move it. Just push that through, tie that tight, nip our end so we can play around with the bow. So I want to have my bow over to one side. I know this bow is kind of ginormous, so we're just going to try and make it a little smaller. So for those of you that are in person, we have our Wonderful World card class. And That is going to be a lot of fun. With that card class, you ended up getting a full pack of designer series paper, a stamp set, a journal, and all the supplies to make 6 cards. So I do have one kit left, so if anyone is interested, let me know. Just shoot me a message. All right, so now we have that, and we will attach this now to our card base. Our card's going to open this way. So we're going to grab some dimensionals and put them on the back. And seeing as I have so many of these little ones, I'm just going to rip the borders off because we don't waste our dimensionals. So we have that class, and then on Friday, I believe it's Friday, we have our apple harvest class. And I think today might be the last day to sign up for that if you're in person or online. We're making 6 cards, and we're making a really pretty fall gift box that you could either store your cards in or you could put a gift in. It is food quality or food safe, whatever you want to call it. All right, so we'll do this. So then we have that. All right, so let's do some stamping. So now I am pulling out my white pigment ink. Sometimes the white takes a little longer to dry, so we probably should have stamped first, but that's all right. So we will start with your rectangular piece. So you want to pull out the stamp that has the 3 little trick-or-treaters. They're so cute. So make sure it's nice and juicy. And you're just going to kind of center this as best you can. And then just put that aside so it can dry. You really want to make sure your stamp then comes clean. So you want to wipe it right away. Then I'm going to use, let's see, what sentiment should I use? Let's use Trick or Treat, You're So Sweet. So I'll put this way. There we go. And you have a black label in your kit. Nice and juicy again. And stamp. Oh, that didn't turn out very great, did it? All right, flip it over. And let's see, I gotta get my head above it so I can line it up. Much better. All right, so that is nice and clean. Okay, so let's start attaching our pieces. All right, so you have your card base. We will grab our little house, our little haunted house, and we will put some dimensionals on the back. I'm just going to put one right in the center. You could do more if you want. It's not going anywhere. It's not like anybody's like living in it or anything. So, all right, so we will put, let's see, let's put the house over here. All right, let's grab our little trick-or-treaters, and hopefully it's dry enough so it's not smudging. And we'll put them just down here. And then we have our sentiment. Put a dimensional on there. And just like that. And let's grab some black matte dots. Take a pick tool. So we have some big ones, we have some small ones. Let's take a big one, put it here, balance that with a little smaller one. Another small one up here. You also kind of want to do like a triangle type thing. So put that there. And here is our third card. See, these are going really quick. Super quick, cute. All right, now the next two cards do take a little longer. So let's start out with the one that's a little quicker. So we have our black. We have that beautiful metallic paper. We have our gingham designer series paper. You have white. Of course, this is going to be for the inside of your card. So let's take our card base and let's fold this in half. So we have that, and our card is going to be opening this way. So what we are going to do is we are going to take our designer paper and we're going to attach that really quick. And we're just going to put this right at the top. We're just going to kind of center that out, leave a little bit of a border. Then we're going to take this sparkly metallic paper. So I cut the lower end, so I just have a few little dots. And make sure we have the same spacing at the bottom. Now you are going to have this gap, and that's fine because we are going to fill that in. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue. Don't need a lot. Just right along that border. This is a great, great way to hide some imperfections. So you're going to grab your gingham. We're not coloring it this time, although you could. And we're just going to pull it tight, not super tight. Just tap it down and just kind of go over the top. And then we'll just trim this. Once it sets a little more, then we'll go back and trim the ends. I just don't want it to move on me. All right, so we'll put this on the side so it can dry. And we will stamp our inside. And our inside, so there's this little boy with like a lamp. I don't know what he's supposed to be, but I thought I'd use him. He was in the set, so we're going to use him. I don't know. What do you think he is? I have no idea. Let me know what you think. All right, so we're going to juice him up nice and juicy. And we're just going to stamp him the bottom corner, just like that. You can hear the squeaky of my of my new chamois. So I ended up getting another chamois, and I just love it. I know Stampin'Up has one where it folds in half, and then you can have like a wet side and a dry side. I found that when I had it too wet and I would wipe, all the ink would like splatter everywhere, and I didn't like that because of course it would always end up on my project. So I got one of these chamois, and I believe they're like $8 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it stains, but you know what? Who cares? I take it, I put like dish soap on it. You can use any kind. You could use a bar of soap, whatever. Rinse it out, and you're all set to go. Okay, and of course, I got a little schmutz on there. So I'll just flip it over and do it again, just real quick. I don't know how I got that on there. Goodness. It's juiced up. There he is. Okay, so hopefully, probably from my hand. All right, so I'll put some adhesive on this side. So I am in the process, some exciting stuff, working on the November and December schedule. So I have all kinds of really cute classes planned for that. Also going to be doing a winter retreat. So that will be coming. And then plan on doing like a techniques class. Get to try all different kinds of ways to do things. So I've been playing with my water pens, my water painters, with water and then with alcohol. All kind of cool. All right, so now this is dry for the most part. So we'll trim that and then trim that side. I didn't have to worry about it coming off. Now we're going to assemble the rest of the card. So we have our moon. So we're going to put our moon here. We have our house, our haunted house. And then I cut out a bunch of little bats. There's a ton of bats and some moons. The moons are going to be for the other card. Oh, I don't know why I put my ink away. I have to stamp my sentiment. Let's see here. Let's do Halloween happiness. So I know Halloween is not everybody's thing, and that's fine. But you could also take the same design, minus like the scary houses and whatnot, and you could use like some fall stamps. So let's say you wanted a fall card. You could do some leaves. You could still do a moon. But yeah, you could do a fall theme. Okay, so let's hope this works. Doing it at a distance here. Did that work? Yeah. Cool. All right. So then we will take our sentiment and we'll put that on. I think we'll do that first. Where do I want that? I want that opposite of these little sparklies. I want some of these sparklies to show through. So let's see, we'll do two dimensionals. And we'll put that one right there. We have the moon, so we are going to just put this on flat because I have bats and I want them to kind of like pop up a little bit. All right, so we have our moon. I think it's kind of cool. It's like the craters. All right, so we have our house. We're going to put the little mini, oh, actually, you know what? I'll just put the one on here. So again, I tried cheating and I tried putting multiples through. So really with these detailed ones, you can really only put in one at a time to die cut. So you may need to pop some of yours through. And then we'll put our little house here, so down here. And then I have some bats. So I'm going to be grabbing these little bats. Look at how little tiny these are. So to put these on so that they kind of pop, I'm going to grab a mini glue dot and I'm just going to roll it off. So it's kind of like a tube. And I'm pinching it off so I have two pieces. So let's grab one of these bats, and I'm just going to put it on one of the wings. I don't want it on both because I'm bending it just a little bit. So let's see here. We can put one bat over here. See, he's kind of popped up. Looks like he's flying a little bit. Okay, so I don't know about you, but to me, bats are like mice with wings. They totally creep me out. And I live out in the country, and, well, I know bats are everywhere, but we always seem to get them in our garage. It's crazy. So if we leave the garage door open, or we open it too early in the morning and leave it open, then for some reason we end up getting a bat in there. It creeps me out. My husband's not a fan of the bats either. We're all running around like it's gonna eat us or something. All right, so we have this, and this is our fourth card. Isn't that cute? Just very simple. And again, you can kind of see, I hope you can see, I'll turn it that way. You can kind of see the bat wings are lifted a little bit because you don't want to mush down. Bats are always moving, so and the sparkly, I just love it. Super cute. All right, so our last card, this one here I think is my favorite. I don't know why, but I just believe it's my favorite. So I don't need my black anymore. Going to need my garden green. So we'll stamp our little label. Oh, come on. And we'll put that on the side. And I want the trick or treat one again. So there's so many to pick out. All right. So trick or treat, you're so sweet. Nice and juicy. So I'm using the garden green. Just going to stamp my sentiment. Trick or treat, you're so sweet. Super cute. Probably could have used black, but let's see. I have an extra one here. Let's see what the black looks like. So I do have one extra kit. So if you are wanting this, I can get this out in the mail as soon as this afternoon. So let me know. Oh, I think I like it better in the black. I think it stands out more. Okay. And I may have used black on my original. Who knows? All right. Close that. So again, I have one kit left. I can get it out as soon as this afternoon. Let me know. All the info is attached with this video. All right, so we're going to take our card base, fold it in half, much like we do with the other cards. Then we are going to take our designer paper and our green, our garden green, and we're just going to attach it. And then we will attach it to our card base. Super easy, nothing difficult there. But I'm so excited to what I have to show you. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to put this right here. Just like that. All right. So in your kit, you have the frame with the trees. You have a haunted house. And you have a plain white piece of cardstock. So we're going to put this other stuff on the side because we need our scrap paper. We are going to be doing some blending. So we're going to start with the yellow. So what I do is I take one of the acrylic blocks and I just tap it on the block or on the ink pad. Going to take my blending brush and pick up that ink. So really want to work it down into that brush. Then you hold your paper. So it's going to be going this way. So our plan is to create an eerie Halloween-y sky. So we picked up our ink. You're going to start blending off on your scrap paper, and then you're going to go on to your cardstock. If you start on your cardstock, you could get some kind of harsh spots of ink. Okay, so we just did a portion of that. Now I'm going to grab my pumpkin pie and just going to grab the other side that is not inked up. So it's this side. I'll get some orange, pumpkin pie on there. And I'll grab my blending brush that I used, pick up some of that ink, and then we're going to start again on the scrap paper with swirls and then go on to our paper that we want. So you could put more of the orangey color right there and then just blend it. Whoop! Blend it up into the yellow. If you feel like you need more, just pick up some more of that ink. Trust me, there's plenty of ink on here. There we go. So now we have our eerie-ish looking kind of sky. So we'll close these. So what I will do then with this is I will just wash this in my kitchen or bathroom sink, little soap and water, good to go. Just keep it on the scrap paper. All right, so then you don't want to get rid of your scrap paper because you are going to need it still. So now we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on that other card. We are going to attach these two. Okay, so I'm thinking I might need just a tad more yellow. There we go. All right, so let's get our glue. I'm going to glue up the back side. Glue, glue, glue. There we go, a little bit on the branches. Now you don't want to put your branches all the way down because we need to tuck a moon in. All right, so again, now you have to decide, do you want the orange up in the trees or do you want the yellow in the trees? Either way works. Okay, so I'll put this right in the center. And you could have made the piece a little bigger, but why? It fits just fine. All right, so we have that. Let's flip it over. See? Isn't that kind of cool? All right, then we will take our paper snips, trim off these corners. And now I'm angling my scissors so I can kind of get like underneath the black frame because I don't want any of that showing. There we go. Now we will take our house and I want to put that just flat. So again, I'm going to grab just a little bit of glue, just a little. And what's really cool about this frame, is that the house fits perfectly in this little space. No trimming necessary. Isn't that awesome? So it fits flat, it fits perfect. Awesome. So I think I forgot to pop out one little part of the fence. That's all right. Okay, so now I need a moon. So I pre-die cut all the moons. I want it to kind of slide underneath here. So I really don't want to use anything but liquid glue. Again, just a teeny little bit. And so we're going to try and tuck it in under some of our trees here. There we go. So the moon is tucked under, and then we'll attach this to our card. So we're going to grab some dimensionals, flip it over, and we will grab some. And make sure our card opens the right way. And we'll put this right here in the center. Try and center it. All right, then we will grab some dimensionals again, or a dimensional, and put this right here. And I totally forgot. So when you do your cards, do not put this layer on until you wrap it with ribbon. So what we are going to do is we are going to make another bow. So, sorry, you can hear my dog. A leaf may have passed my window, so she has to start barking. All right, so we tie our bow. Let's trim it, and we're going to color it just like we did with the orange. Yeah, I think a leaf flew by. So we have our dark granny apple. Oh, you know what? I don't want granny apple green. I want, oh, let's see. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Okay. So we'll take our green and just go over. And, oh my goodness. That poor leaf. All right. Color that. So what I did, what I know for sure on my original card was this layer of the garden green and the designer paper. I wrapped the ribbon around it after I colored it and then tied a bow. So I don't want to rip it all apart because it'll make it look really bad. So we will just change it up a little bit. So we're taking 2 of the glue dots. And I want to put my bow like right about here. So then we'll take our colored ribbon, put that on, and then we'll just trim up the edges because we don't want it super long. And then we will grab some bats. So I have some bigger bats. So I cut the bats out of that shimmery metallic stuff. So I have some big ones, and I thought I had some smaller ones, but that's all right. So what I will do is I will grab a mini glue dot. With these bigger bats, you don't need to rip it in half. That right there. Whoop. I'll put one bat up here. He's kind of flying. He can definitely fly away from me. Not a bat person. All right, then we'll put one right there, and one more bat, because we want to do 3s because this is kind of our embellishment. So there we go. Here is card number 5. So not too bad trying to figure out how I did them. So when you have your kit, you do have the tutorials. So you will have exactly how I had done them. So today we just kind of improvised a little bit because I don't have my samples with me. So these are the very sweet, adorable Halloween cards that we made. See, purple can be Halloween. Kind of cool. Oh, you can't even really see it. Let's move it this way. So these are our cute and not so scary Halloween cards. Super nice. All right. So this was our card class, our Halloween card class. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And don't forget, Stampin' Up! Has this awesome deal. For $99, you get to pick out $155 worth of product. You can't go wrong for that. Then future orders that you place, you get to place them when you want, how you want, and you will get your product whenever you want at a 20% discount. So I will attach a link for that. But with all of that said, you all have a wonderful rest of the day and God bless. Bye-bye.